Hello and welcome to Ceti on the Commodore 64, and apologies if the bottom scroll bits slightly off the screen, but I can't be bothered fiddling with my video capture settings to try and get it onto the screen, but it just briefly tells you the plot, the story, but once you get started it disappears anyway. Or does it? I thought it disappeared. Right, anyway, the idea is that you're on the planet Tau Ceti, and it's been uninhabited for a number of years. Robot drones have sort of taken over, and you have to go in and shut down the main reactor on the planet, and this will shut down all the defences and all the robots and make the planet habitable again. So it's got a good scenario, sort of sci-fi scenario. And the way to shut down the reactor, you have to search on each city. The planet's made up of a number of cities. I think it's about 20, 30 cities. Can't remember off the top of my head. If you go into the map, actually, there's a map. Yeah, there you go. You can zoom in. Tell you how many cities there are. Well, I could do if you could be bored to sort of to play about with it. So yep, so the game comes with a map, but we see at the top middle-ish of the screen it says Rima. That's the city that we're in at the moment. The reactor's in Centralis, but you want to go there last, really, because it's quite heavily defended. And to travel from city to city, you have to find jump pad. So the easiest way is to just type in the name of the city. So Rima. It will zoom in. The map will zoom in, and it will tell you the location of the jump pads. So medium defences. Jump pad exits are north and south. Sorry, south Centralis, west Hame. So we will not go to Centralis, we'll go to Hame, but yeah, great. So there's other commands. You can type in help, it tells you all these commands. When you're docked, it's this sort of command-based system. And what you can do is you can, there's pads, it comes with a built-in notepad actually, you can put in notes. Hello. Just showing something. You can keep notes in the notepad, same you have to use actual paper. And you can load and save the game. Because it's quite a big game, take a long time to complete. At the time it was sort of roughly compared with Elite in terms of the sort of lastability of the game. It's quite a daunting task actually. It's one of these games I've never managed to get very far in. So when it first, well, I didn't have it when it first came out, but I did eventually get it. And one of these games that it's just a little intimidating. You've got to find a lot of time you've got to set aside a lot of time to get anywhere in a game. So there's some quite atmospheric pictures when you're docked. So let's launch. This is where the game sort of comes into its own really in terms of its appearance. You can see that it's a sort of pseudo 3D. I guess it's done in bitmap modes. All these objects, they're sort of nicely scaled, and they all move accurately, and they're all nicely shaded according to the position of the sun. There's a scanner we can use. Short range scanner shows you black things. The black was the land we were just in, so we're trying to find another building. The defences, as long as you don't fire, the defences aren't triggered right away. I think that's a drone, but just stay away from that. I don't really want to go there. At the bottom right, there's... Oh, I think somebody's firing at us. At the bottom right, there's a... You can see there's a black bar. That's one of the automatic rangefinder. There's two. The top one shows you the center points the way to the center of the city. The bottom one points the way to the nearest jump pads if you're in the vicinity of one. So if you head, we know there's an exit to the west. So if we head west at some point, a black bar up here indicating how to get to the nearest jump pad. So yeah, this is one of these games that I think it's one of these games that people sort of respected more than liked. It's because it's also very well done and it's very, very atmospheric. But is it actually much fun to play? I don't know. It's quite tough going. Once the combat starts, it's really quite relentless. You've got to be very careful. And I guess there's a strategic element to it, rather than just rush around. So this is a building. It's probably the one we started in, but we'll see. You've got to know there's all sorts of keyboard commands to adjust your height. You press and your speed, so I'll just take the speed down. You can press I turns when it gets fully dark. You've got to turn on infrared to see where you're going, but you can see that it's quite hard to do any combat with it. You've got to really slow down for these. So you see the little portal appears. Fortunately, it's a bit easier to dock than it is to dock in Elite. There's no in-game music, but there are some atmospheric sound effects, but they're a bit sparse. But they sort of suit the game. The whole game's got a sort of sort of eerie, sort of sparse atmosphere to it. So now we've actually docked with the reactor substation. There's no rods. Normally it'd tell you right away if there's any rods. There's no rods in this reactor. But what you've got to do is go from city to city and go to the reactor, see if it's got any rods in it. All you do is take the rods, and once you've it takes you to this. You can go to this screen, and then what you do is assemble the rods. You just fit them together like a jigsaw. And then once you've got all 50 rods, I think one of them is in the final reactor. I think there's a rod there, because I think some people thought it was a bug in the game, but there is actually a rod in Centralis. The final rod's there, I think. So you can see it's got dark now. It's very hard to see, so if you turn on the infrareds, a bit more idea where you're going. So I think there was a jump gate to the west. So I really like the atmosphere in terms of, you know, the lighting effects and stuff like that. It's very, very well done. The best strategy apparently is to, in fact you can see the direction finder's picked up the jump gate, so we just head towards it. Yeah, the best strategy is not to actually go at full speed, it's to go around quite slowly apparently. Now you are armed with a laser, which overheats quite quickly, so you've got to be very careful how you use it. You can see the jump gate's just appeared. This is the jump gate. You've also got a limited amount of missiles. It says we've got 8 missiles, 8 anti-missile missiles. They'll destroy any incoming missiles. And there's you can launch a flare, so If I turn off the infrared, press F, that launches a flare. You can see it lights up. Just very limited visibility, but it's quite useful, especially if you get damaged and your infrared gets knocked out. But obviously it doesn't last forever. It does seem to last quite a while though. Okay, so the flare's finished. So we'll turn the infrared back on, and all you do is just fly over the jump pad and press J to jump, or just hold it down. And all it does is transport you to the next city. And all the cities, they pretty much look identical. There's no variation in terms of the graphics. Okay, there's a bit of colour variation for some reason. I'm not quite sure what that is. But so we use our direction finder to go to the centre of the city. You can also press V to change view. So you can have, that's the rear view. So you can flip between 4 different views. Quite useful. So here's a building we can dock with. There's different types of building. There's the reactor buildings. Oh, in fact, I can just make out there's a drone there. Is he going to fire at me? I think we're okay at the moment. Let me try and go around the other side of the building. Yeah, there's different types of buildings. There's the reactor building, then there's the civilian and military depots. Oops, somebody's firing at me now. Probably be that drone, I guess. I'll just launch a flare, probably be easier. Okay, so the missiles are quite good to get a quick kill. I think we'll try and dock. You've got to be careful you don't approach too fast. So we've now docked with the reactor substation and one rod section found. So if we go to rods, there we go, you can see at the bottom is a little rod section. So at some point we need to find a section that links up with that section. And you can flip them around and stuff like that. It's a bit like the puzzle section in Impossible Mission. You sort of flip them around and try and get them to match up. It's a bit easier because there's only two. Let's have a look. I don't think we can equip. If you're in a depot, you can go to the equipment screen. You can repair systems and stuff like that. So you've got your scanner on the right hand side, shows all the little dots. That gets damaged quite easily. And then you've got your infrared scanner and things like that. There's all sorts of systems you can repair. These are most of the systems that I'm listing here. It tells you when the sunset is. And that's pretty much the game, the core of the game. It's just go from city to city. Carefully take out any defences. Don't try and rush in full speed, otherwise you'll be stuffed. I'll launch a flare. Another. I'll start some combat just to show you what it's like. So my compass is damaged. So the combat is pretty harsh. You know. I mean, you can definitely cover, but I've been destroyed now. You can, if you find a depot, you can repair yourself and get more weapons and things. But it's pretty hard going the combat. Would be nice to be a bit easier. But yeah, as I said at the start, this is one of these games that I think people sort of more sort of admire than actually enjoy playing. But it is quite a good game, but you've got to set aside quite a bit of time for it. And yeah, it's worth getting. I know there's a map in the game, but there's some maps floating around on the net. It's worth getting one in advance so you know where you're going. But yeah, if you want something with a bit of depth to it, yeah, this is not too bad actually. It's a pretty decent game. I'll give it 8 out of 10. It's a pretty decent game, but it's slightly inaccessible at the start, so that's why I'll knock it down a point. I think I'll give it 8, but it's still a pretty decent game. And sadly, there was a sequel on the Spectrum called Academy, but it never made it to the 64. So unfortunately, and that's a bit more sort of mission based rather than a huge objective. There's individual missions you've got to achieve, so it's a bit more accessible. But yeah, this is a good game. Certainly graphically quite impressive for its time. I think very atmospheric. Yep. So 8 out of 10, and see you next video.